hearing a lot about discrimination. So what's it really mean to discriminate against someone? Is this really about rights and benefits or a whole lot more?
There are at least 1,318 tangible benefits, rights, protections, responsibilities that marriage bring couples and their children. Denying us the freedom to marry simply punishes us.
If my life with Tambry and Schuyler is just, eroding your family, well, we've been together for 9 years, and I don't know that giving me a piece of paper and allowing me to put Tambry on my medical would really impact your life.
Inheritance, hospitalization rights. We don't have hospitalization rights right now, but all the other benefits, I think without civil union, without marriage, all that could be at risk.
For some, it's meant getting physical. Someone has actually assaulted them and gay bashed them.
I was gay bashed about 13 years ago from a cab driver who threw me over a guardrail, and I broke my shoulder, got my clavicle and my shoulder all bust up, and it was pretty much a very devastating thing that happened to me. The only thing I could compare it to is as if a woman is being raped. I had absolutely no control over it.
Many people in the LGBT community feel that Christians are applying a double standard.
Sometimes we say that's discrimination against homosexuals. In the same way, that community and sympathizers can discriminate against Christians. It cuts both ways.
The Mormon church is a bunch of bigoted fucks, and if you're a Mormon that gave money to this, you're a fucking bigoted fuck also. I'm not proud to tell you you're a fucking asshole.
Are free Americans, regardless of their religion, able to give money to a cause?
You make me a less free American by violating my right to be married to my husband, you fucking pig.
That's what I actually don't appreciate about the more extremist groups, is them saying, if you don't accept me, then you're homophobic and you're a bigot and you're a right-wing extremist. And it's like, wow, what happened to tolerance?
And I have to tell you that I've received emails and things like that from the other community, the proponents, that are not very nice. But at the same time, I'm sometimes just as offended by those who are Christians saying things that I believe are unnecessary to say.
Hey, Charles, I thought you loved me. Was pretty hypocritical, you walk away.
When that becomes people putting their opinions and views and expecting me to accept that because they're right and I'm wrong, then I have a problem.
When it comes to the gay population wanting societal kinds of validation and recognition, it could be to compensate for feeling like they've been victimized for so long. Now, the flip side of that is they need to realize that they don't want to become the victimizers. They don't want to do the identification with the aggressor and victimize people to force them to accept them.
And sometimes discrimination gets very verbal.
They would say, you're disgusting, your parents are weird, they're aliens from Mars.
And riding the bus, you're called a faggot, or you effing queer, or something like that, and it hurts.
Another polite SOP for most gay couples is, don't ask, don't show. Just how do they handle public displays of affection towards one another? Surprisingly, they care more about us straight people than we even know.
What is basic to the problematic part of gay and lesbian discrimination is staying unknown.
For instance, holding hands in public. Showing a bit of affection. I'm real uptight about that because I just don't want to, start anything or, offend anyone.
I'm reluctant to hold hands with him in public, to express physical closeness to him. I'm not talking about anything obscene or, crazy, but just holding hands or being arm in arm, because I'm very hyper aware of society.
I wish we could live a more wholesome life and have the freedom to just not think about how am I going to insult the next person over at the other swing if we display those affections. I'd like to, but we have to think twice about it and sort of refrain.
We have not come to know one another, and we have objectified them, and that allows us to be able to hate the other. It allows us to be able to speak badly of one another.
This woman across the street, this tall Caucasian woman that was waiting for the bus, started doing this. I wanted to go up and put her in her place and say, "Hey, Holly, what's up with that?" But that's not the right thing to do. I'd just be kind of getting down to her level.
I think tolerance overall is a good thing to be passed down. I think it's biblical. I think it's wise. I think it's necessary for any civilization to survive. There has to be tolerance.
The more we explored this issue, the more complicated it became. As you can probably see, there are no simple explanations or answers. We're dealing with real people, their lives, their emotions, and their futures.
Why can't we just be sexual beings? You know, but it's like, okay, you gotta either be straight, you have to be gay, you have to be this, you have to be that. You know, and I think about it sometimes and I think, well, why?